I thought we started really well. I thought we were competitive. I thought we played with energy in the first 5 minutes. And then, when they kind of went on their first run, it kind of deflated us a little bit, which I'm not really sure why.
Stephanie White's seat just ignited after the Indiana Fever crumbled 80-61 against the expansion Golden State Valkyries, a flop that spoiled Caitlin Clark's much-hyped return from a groin strain and unleashed a tidal wave of fan fury.
The offense, I think, for us, it starts on defense, and we, struggled, scouting report-wise, we struggled personnel, we struggled to do what the coaches asked of us.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse was buzzing with Kids' Day energy, confetti cannons cocked, and every third seat draped in Clark's number 22. 5 minutes in, Clark had splashed a transition three, sunk a pull-up jumper, and fist-bumped half the front row. By the final buzzer, those same fans were streaming for the exits while Valkyries rookies mugged for selfies on their way to the tunnel.
I was disappointed because I felt like there was a lack of competitive fire. With the exception of about 2 5-minute spurts, our attention to detail was poor.
The Fever had scripted the afternoon as a relaunch, but Golden State flipped the narrative with a 12-0 bench burst that erased Indiana's early 14-7 lead. White shuffled every lineup permutation she could imagine.
I'm not sure if it's not knowing the game plan, as much as, because if it's not knowing the game plan, then that's a whole nother conversation, as much as not executing.
Twin tower looks with Aaliyah Boston and Temi Fagbenley, 3-guard speed units built around Kelsey Mitchell, even a brief zone that melted under a rain of Kayla Thornton corner threes. From the second quarter on, the Valkyries looked like a franchise 5 years deep. Not a newcomer, 3 months old.
It happens sometimes. It does happen sometimes. And the Valkyries brought more effort than the Fever, who were flat. What about the strategic aspect of it? What about the long-term implications and the little bit of a back and forth that's been going on stylistically between the head coach and the star player?
Lindsey Harding's club dissected hedges, owned the glass, and turned Indiana's home floor into a Bay Area block party. White's post-game presser poured gasoline on the bonfire. Stone-faced, she called the showing unacceptable and repeated the phrase, competitive fire, 3 times, each repetition a fresh slap across the microphone. She lamented loose closeouts and lazy boxouts, adding that too many eyes were waiting on Caitlin's magic instead of manufacturing it.
Hi, I'm Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, and I'm a complete clown! I'm a clown! That is what I am as a head coach. I am a clown. I am ruining Caitlin Clark. I have no idea what I'm doing as a coach.
Reporters quoted her verbatim. Within minutes, social feeds carved those words into digital headstones. Inside the locker room, emotions ranged from stunned silence to simmering resentment. One vet muttered that the coach threw us under the bus on live TV, while a rookie defended White, insisting the roster didn't match its own big talk all week.
You got the best point guard in the world, and you have her playing small forward. You got her playing small forward, bro. What are we talking about here?
White canceled the scheduled off day, replacing it with a dawn film session players have already dubbed the accountability breakfast. Assistants have orders to clip every missed box out and tag it with the offender's initials in red. Meanwhile, the internet caught fire.
I don't know even what to say. Some of the stuff, I'm just kind of I don't really know what happened. They weren't playing in sync. There was a lot of iso ball happening. There was a lot of selfish basketball being played. There was a lot of shots that I was just so confused as to why those shots were even being taken.
Fire White barreled into the national trending list, wedged between an NBA trade rumor and a pop star Easter egg thread. A viral TikTok stitched White's rant over a montage of Valkyries layups, ending with the punchline caption, "Guess who had the fire?" Local callers demanded front office action, and a column floated former coach Lynn Dunn as interim if the slide snowballs. Strategically, fans are baffled.
It's just not looking good. You go from the Commissioner's Cup, you win a game that you're not supposed to win, and the team is celebrating in the locker room after, and you're popping champagne, and there's just so much team chemistry, and everybody felt like they turned a corner, and then they have another good game right after that, and then you lose to the Sparks the way that you did.
White kept Clark off the ball for long stretches, letting Erica Wheeler run point even as the offense coughed up 6 straight empty trips. Asked why, White said she wanted Clark fresh for downhill attacks, but critics blasted the move as muzzling the most electric playmaker in women's hoops. Clark finished with 10 points on 4 for 13 shooting, 4 turnovers, and 0 fourth-quarter attempts from logo range, a statistic already fueling angry subreddits. Golden State, by contrast, executed like a seasoned playoff threat. Veronica Burton chopped up Hedges with Iowa-honed calm, posting 21 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists. Thornton added 18, chirping, "too small," on every bully drive bucket. Rookie Cameron Brink swatted 3 shots and flashed a no-fly zone gesture as Boston retreated downcourt. Harding praised her team's composure in chaos, a tidy summary for a roster that has already ripped road wins from Vegas and New York. Context makes the Fever's flop even uglier. Indiana entered 9-9, eyeing a step above 500 against an opponent playing its 3rd game in 4 nights. The organization deployed every marketing bell and whistle, pyro intros, a halftime drone swarm, meet and greets, to celebrate Clark's comeback. Instead, their franchise cornerstone spent the final stretch slumped on the bench, while Harding's reserves ballooned the lead to 19. Swish Appeals recap dubbed it Kids' Day Carnage, a headline Fever brass surely wish they could erase. White's critics say the meltdown fits a pattern. The Sparks debacle that ended with a league fine after she blamed officials, the Phoenix overtime loss where Clark sat 8 of the final 9 minutes despite a triple-double, and the mid-May Chicago collapse when Boston got only 9 second-half touches. Each incident fed whispers that White is juggling egos instead of coaching strengths. Sunday's disaster poured concrete on those whispers. Supporters counter that the Fever's issues run deeper than tactics. Boston's ankle soreness, Mitchell's career-low 28% from 3, Christy Wallace's season-ending ACL tear, plus Clark's 2-week absence limiting practice time. Optics, however, rule in a league fighting for every eyeball, and Sunday's optics were brutal. ESPN cameras caught Clark rubbing her temples as White barked at role players. Boston and Lexi Hull exchanged expletives after a blown rotation. The Jumbotron cut to a family waving a "Welcome Back Caitlin" banner exactly as Burton drilled her 3rd dagger. Upcoming stakes loom larger by the hour. Atlanta visits Gainbridge next, followed by trips to Washington, and then a showdown with the defending champion Aces. A 3-game skid could drop Indiana from 8th to 10th, vaporize playoff hopes, and dump rocket fuel on coaching carousel chatter. Ownership insists patience, but insiders note the ticket renewal deadlines align with the Olympic break, a natural flashpoint for drastic moves. For Clark, the turmoil straddles public and personal. She's battled NBA-style traps, fought through rehab, and lived inside a social media microscope. Asked whether she endorsed White's competitive fire critique, Clark delivered diplomacy. Coaches coach, players play, and we all have to look in the mirror. Her body language, jersey untucked, eyes fixed on the rafters, told a harsher truth. Golden State now surfs the opposite wave. Harding's Valkyries are 10-9, 1 game shy of 5th, and boast a top 4 offense since mid-June. Their social team celebrated with a meme of Burton in a Valkyries helmet captioned, "Mission, spoil the return." Ticket departments are already billing the August WNBA-NBA doubleheader at Chase Center as Oracle 2.0. If Indiana doesn't course correct, it may watch the league's newest darling sprint past in wins and cultural buzz. Back outside Gainbridge, street vendors slashed Clark's shirt prices for early exit fans. A teenager asked her dad if coaches can be traded like players. Another fan, still wearing a cardboard crown, held up a sign reading, "Believe." The irony stung. Belief was precisely what the Fever failed to show after Clark's opening salvo. In the bowels of the arena, staff rebooted film servers and printed tracking charts. Every player's chair will reportedly hold a plus-minus sheet at dawn. Clark, despite her struggle, finished only -3, while 2 bench guards posted -17 and -15. Whether that data unifies or fractures the locker room is the million-dollar question. One truth stands taller than Brink's swats. The honeymoon between Stephanie White and the Fever faithful is over. Sunday was supposed to be a celebration, a spark for a mid-season surge. Instead, it became an indictment of rotations that don't maximize Clark's wizardry. of defensive lapses that scream effort more than scheme, and of a coaching style now under an unforgiving microscope. As midnight approached, White's quotes ricocheted across talk shows, Clark's quiet 10-point line scrolled beneath, and the Valkyries boarded their charter with a statement, "Win tucked safely away." The Fever embarked on a parallel flight into uncertainty. Somewhere in that thin air, the question echoes, was this just a bad game in a long season? Or the night Indiana realized its vision and its reality are playing two entirely different sports? One thing is clear, if the Fever stumble again, competitive fire won't be the only thing missing from the arena. Fan patience, and perhaps Stephanie White's job security, could vanish right along with it.